Let's double check, make sure it went live correctly. Not in the comments. Oh, yep, right there. All right, testing, 1, 2. Comments. Oh, yep, right there. All right, testing, 2. All right, perfect. All right, it's going. All right, so we're good to go. We are live. All right, I'm gonna start it off. All right, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the Super Breakdown, where we sit down and talk about your favorite heroes and villains, break them down, and open up a multiverse of possibilities with 2 words and 1 question: what if? I'm your host, Power Maximus, and we're here with everyone's favorite demigod, none other than Lord
Lord
Triage.
Triage.
Absolutely. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have a special guest tonight. He's the Doom expert that we all know, the one, the only, Blaze Haram. What's going on, brother? How you doing?
What's going on, guys? Pleasure. Thanks for having me on your show today. Pleasure. So I'm hyped. We could chop it up on some Doctor Doom today.
All right, perfect. So as I was saying before we got started, I don't know much about Doctor Doom. Just based off everything that's been put out there. Only thing I dived into, like I told you, was that Marquis at that storyline, which I definitely want to touch on later on in the show. But if you don't mind, give us a bit of a origin of Victor Von Doom.
Well, before I get started, I'm a big fan of Doom. I'm a big fan of villains overall. But Doom was always one to stand out, the one that always stood out for me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just because as much as I like Doom, I love the Fantastic Four also, and it's like you got Reed Richards and you got Doom, and they're both alike. That's why they're always neck and neck on each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like they're pretty much a reflection of each other, but one just goes about different ways of getting shit done as opposed to the way Reed Richards does shit. But to tap on Doctor Doom's origin, the guy, scientist, uh, fucking genius, but he always had a thirst for power. You know what I mean? And always wanted to change the world, but just how he went about things on changing the world, like Doom always wanted to do good.
Yeah.
But with him putting out good, there was always some kind of get back on that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why, that's why he turned to the dark side, and started going about evil ways of doing things. But Doom, he's traveled the world. He studied the mystic arts. Like Doom is actually a mystic. For those who don't know, people look at him as a scientist and whatever, but Doom is actually a mystic. He mastered the mystic arts, studied just like Doctor Strange did,
Mm-hmm.
but and took over the fictional nation of Latveria, and wanted to do right for the people, but wanted the people to worship him. Yeah. So that's pretty much Doom's MO. Doom in his humble beginnings, when he became Doctor Doom, like he was there for his people and gave to his people, but in return he wanted to be worshipped.
Yeah, like as a god.
Yes.
So that's definitely one thing I've definitely been the vibes I've been getting from him, especially like I said when I looked into that Marquis Death storyline. Like people think, all right, he's just a dictator, and especially like from watching the older movies, they're thinking, oh, he's just has electrical powers. No, he's like you said, he's a mystic. He actually it's magic. It's not just technology. It's magic. He's a super
Yeah,
genius.
Doom is a mix of technology, magic, and science, man. And like he can absorb energy. I don't know if you saw him in Fantastic Four, the one with Silver Surfer in it, where
Mm-hmm.
Silver Surfer shot him with the energy blast, and he just absorbed it and shot it right back.
Yeah.
Uh,
and that's why I find really dope. And not a lot of people know, like in some incarnations of Doctor Doom, he's centuries old in some
Yeah.
incarnations of him.
Hmm.
And it like his whole that whole story with Doom just gets crazy. I mean, I will definitely say the only thing I you remember the Fan Four Stick movie, the really bad Fantastic Four movie that they dropped not long ago.
Yeah. I don't believe that one exists in my head, Bug.
It's like a Dragon Ball evolution right there.
Yeah,
Um,
pretty much.
but the only thing I'll say that I really did like, the only thing I did like about that, and I feel like it kept at least close to Doom's storyline, is him being trapped in a alternate like area of like space and time or whatever, in different dimension, and having to essentially adapt to survive, because that something like that does end up happening, but he gets trapped like in like the dinosaur crustaceous era, and then he has to
Yeah.
like, adapt and survive, and so he's had centuries to learn and study the mystic arts. Some could say he's actually more in depth with the mystic arts than Doctor Strange.
Hmm. He
So
actually so not to jump off that the Doom subject, but
mhm.
Kang the Conqueror believes that he's a descendant of Doom.
Really?
I thought it was
Yes.
Reed.
So it's
Yeah.
Reed. It's Reed, but he believes that it's Doom. It's not Reed. He believes it's Doom because him and Doom are so much alike.
Interesting.
So
Oh.
the first time they cross paths, so he's always heard. So for you guys that don't know, Kang is from the 40th century. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so well, actually, no, he's from the 30th century originally. He's from the 30th century, but his ancestors had left stories in their library from the past, like of the Age of Heroes and stuff like that, talking about the Avengers and the heroes that that were out there in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So Kang built a time machine and sent himself back in time to ancient Egypt and took over. Like he saw these they were primitive Egyptians, that were there. And he comes through from the 30th century with all this technology. So he just took over ancient Egypt and called himself Ramatut.
Mm-hmm.
But traveling back to the 30th century, he came across Doom, who was stuck in an alternate world.
Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah, and he actually helped Doom get back to Earth 616.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. And then Kang went on, like they crossed paths and they looked at each other in the comics, like in the I'm trying to think what issue it was when they crossed paths, but they looked at each other and none of them said anything to each other. It was like they were just looking and staring at the mirror,
Right.
you know?
Oh.
Yeah, and which led Kang to go on to the 40th century, which he took over, which was the year 3000. So
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I didn't even know that. I didn't even know
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Like
and
I
if
knew
you
that.
you guys ever read in the Infinity Gauntlet, Infinity War series, him and Doom were actually working together trying to get the Cosmic Cube. But Doom had his own agenda, so Doom pretty much
As
played
always.
Kang. Yeah, he played Kang and took the cube for his own self. He was pretty much in business for himself.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Even though,
Yeah.
like, especially with, like I said, especially with the that Marquis of Death storyline, it was the same thing. So
Hmm.
like, if you were to go into the Marquis of Death story, like you would have to, before you even get to Doom, you'd have to go all the way back to, oh man, it. So the Marquis of Death, he's like not not even from this the superhero reality, not
Okay.
even from that superhero realm. So he's from, essentially, he would be from our world, like the real
Mm.
world, where superheroes are in just comic books and movies and stuff. So he was always like a real big fan of Reed Richards and everything. So he's always reading his comics. Um, and so he ends up going into this abandoned house. It was kind of like a hideout. And so it ends up disappearing. And then the house ends up coming back, and I was like, oh, wasn't the house just there? And now it's back. And so the kid was inside. Come to find out, it was actually a portal into the superhero world.
Interesting.
And so come to find out, within doing that, he unlocked powers of his own, which gives him the ability to bend and warp reality. So that's why the Marquis is literally one of the strongest heroes villains in anywhere. Like, his power level puts him right below the one above all.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So after that, like, and mind you, this is when he was a kid, and next thing you know, like, he ended up opening that portal. So now he ends up finding like villains and stuff starting to come into the real world and everything. And so next thing he knows, boom, out comes Reed Richards. And he's like, all right, we have to close this portal, figure out what's going on, blah, 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 so on and so forth. And he's like, and so they end up working together, stopping these villains, getting them back through the portal to the right dimension. So he's like, hey, listen, you have powers. You should come with me, and I can help you hone those skills and powers. The problem with that is when he went to essentially the superhero world to do so, the only way to read, after all this testing and stuff, they realize he's not able to do it. He's not able to harness his power. So they end up putting him into essentially a catatonic state. And they have him like hooked up to these machines and everything and have him knocked out or whatever. So what ends up happening is now the Marquis of Death comes in and is attacking everything, this is not whatever. Kid gets woken up. Kind of find out it was a Reed Richards who came back in time to kill him because he got too out of control in the future. So now he ends up creating a whole time paradox now. So now, of course, Reed fails on killing him, but in turn, he ends up making him evil. So instead of stopping the problem, Reed ends up becoming the cause of the problem.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, so the kid ends up going out of control, out of his way, and decides, you know what? Fuck Reed Richards. I'm going to kill him. So he ends up murking out the Reed Richards in his universe. And then he opens the portals, and now, for centuries, he's just traveling the multiverse, decimating the Earths, decimating and then torturing the Reed Richards of that universe.
Wow.
And now he has absolutely like done some wild shit. Like, he's killed Johnny Storm in front of Sue. He's tortured Sue in front of Reed, killed her, and then slowly ripped him apart. You watch Multiverse of Madness, right, Blaze?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Stringy, yeah, that's happened before. And then so now he gets to 616, and he has his apprentice with him, and this apprentice is helping him out, this and that, whatever. And the entire time Doom's like, my master's coming, my master's gonna be here. So apparently this guy, Marquis of Death, had trained Doom in those mystic arts. So Marquis of Death pulls up with his new apprentice, and he's like, yo, this is what you've done so far. I trained you for all these centuries, and you can't take out a Reed Richards. You can't take over this world. You're a failure. You failed me. So him and Doom end up fighting, right? He ends up fighting. Apparently this fight takes like 7 years, a battle going on for 7 years. All the superheroes end up joining in, including the villains end up joining in, and they're all fighting against the Marquis of Death. All in the same time. Doom defeats the Marquis of Death. And now Reed ends up dying. Doom and Sue ended up getting married, having a kid, and it's this like whole storyline. And then there's a scene where Doom and Susan are in the room and whatnot. Susan looks at Doom. And she's like, "Have you enjoyed yourself?" He's like, "Yeah, babe, what you talking about?" It's like, "No, seriously, have you enjoyed yourself? You really thought that you can beat me?" Come to find out, that whole 7 years wasn't even real. And all that happened within a matter of 7 seconds, and the Marquis had already killed him. In 7 seconds, had already killed him, put him into a whole mental loop thinking that he had won for 7 years, thinking he was living out his life, had a great time and everything. Couldn't find out he was still standing there in that moment. Marquis, he thinks he kills him, I forget what he does to him, but then he throws him through a portal, and that's where this comes in, where he gets trapped in the past. Yeah. It's who just popped out here? Oh, pop back in. All right, hello?
Yeah, I'm back.
What part of that did you miss?
Just a few seconds. I know you was talking about the Marquis of Death. I just lost connection real quick.
Oh, all right. Did you hear what like the whole fight with Doom and everything?
Yeah, I heard that.
All right, yeah, and then lost him again. All right, there we go.
There is one thing I've always been curious about, because they have the whole depiction between Doom and Sue and Reed. It's sort of like a love triangle, but is that really the case?
It is. So Doom always had a thing for Susan, but you know, Susan's man, Susan's poppy is Reed. You know, not Victor.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you guys are, did you guys read Secret Wars? Not the recent one that came out a few years ago.
Yes, I did.
I have not.
All right. So how Doom became God, pretty much. You know, he faced all the Beyonders and destroyed all of them and became God, and basically took all the Earths and made it into Battle World, which was one Earth. All the Earths meshed into one. He made Sue his love interest in there. She was basically his queen. Yeah.
That's the one where he uses like the world tree as a throne, right?
Yes.
Yes, I have read that.
And then there was like he had an army of Thors.
I gotta read this.
Yeah, you really do.
Yeah, so Doom pretty much he there was what's called oh shit, I forgot the word they used. But there was basically an incursion. So there was an incursion with Earth 1610 and Earth 616.
Yep.
So the Beyonders from both those Earths, from all the other Earths, all got together. They were causing all this, the incursion. So Doom stepped up to the plate and faced all the Beyonders. And they were like, "Who are you?" And he was like, "I am Doom." And then from there, you know, he destroyed all of them and became God. It's a great story, man. You know, his cloak turned white. You know,
if I remember correctly, it was he was ruling with Steven, with Strange helping him as well.
Yeah, and he ended up killing Strange.
Right. Well, speaking of Doctor Strange, the whole incursion thing gets mentioned at the end of the Multiverse of Madness.
Yes, when she opens the at the end when his third eye comes out at the post credit, and she's like, "Oh, there's an incursion going," and you see Dormammu on the other side. Yeah, so I think that they're leading into that somehow.
Right there. Yeah, I think that's going to be interesting because Cersei is his wife from the evil realm. That's technically Strange's wife. So that's when I saw that, I was like, oh, this is about to get good. And especially with we got Secret Innovations coming up as well, and then Secret Wars, the climax of this multiverse saga.
I think they're slowly building up Doom because now they got they just announced the trailer for Wakanda, Black Panther, his new movie Wakanda. Doom actually plays a big role. I mean, I hope he's mentioned in there because one of the villains that's that's an Atlantean, Atuma.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Doom is actually responsible for making his gear. Like the armor that Atuma wears, Doom made that for him.
Interesting.
Yeah, so if they were slide that in there in the movies briefly, show a quick Victor Von Doom cameo, that'll be dope,
Right. Or even if they mentioned like he got it from Latveria, because you figure 70% of the world is covered in water, so if they're Atlanteans, there's a good chance they could have traveled and met him in passing.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Yeah, so, let's touch base on that armor real quick, like, could we go into a little bit more detail about it? Because I know it like enhances his strength, and I know it can also contain multiple different aspects of different technology that's merged into it. But that's pretty much all I know.
Yeah, so his armor, it has fragments of power cosmic in it also. So that's why Korg is able to absorb shit. Yeah, so he has elements of power cosmic in that outfit that he wears, in that armor. But the armor also gives him super strength,
Okay.
Yeah.
So now I'm thinking, because now I don't know if you know about the second son of Hulk.
The what?
The second son of Hulk. So this Scar, which is the son of Hulk, but Hulk also has a second son.
Yeah, he's the one that's not green. He's the one that looks more like the mother. He's like an alien.
Yeah. Yep. So he actually has this ancient power that's actually essentially the anti-power cosmic.
Oh.
So now I'm thinking about that, and like that's now knowing that Doom has that, like his second son is so powerful that he had Galactus running. Running scared. So now I'm just thinking, because he has power cosmic, I'm just thinking about like if that was to be a versus, if they were to go up, if they were to bring him in, that'd be interesting. Since they're taking this whole cosmic route right now.
Yeah.
That would be interesting. That would be fun to watch.
It'll be fun to watch too if they would throw Franklin Richards in there.
Oh my God, that would be.
Yeah, that kid's a boom, man.
Well, Mr. Fantastic did mention he had children.
Mm-hmm. Children, multiple.
Yep. But Franklin Richards is known to be probably, if not one of the strongest in the universe,
Mm-hmm.
That's why him and Marquis of Death are on the same level, because of the reality benders. So far, what I've seen within the Marvel universe is that if you can warp reality, you are on the level of a god. Because that's why Scarlet Witch is such a problem. Because at full strength, she can warp and manipulate reality, tear holes into different dimensions on a whim.
I saw a fan theory that states that people think Wanda's not even dead. They think that Kang came in and took her, and that he's using her power to his own ends.
I can see that.
Right?
Yeah, I can see that. Now, again, this is interesting because I actually saw the leaked trailer for Quantumania, and it's Kang. Kang is it. Kang's the end-all be-all villain in that, and you actually see him. So, of course, we've already seen him in Loki. So now, knowing this connection between Doom and Kang, and then Secret Wars being the end-all be-all of these next two phases, there's no way in hell they're not bringing in Doom.
Right? Yeah, they got to be, because in order for you to I see how they're building Kang as the next big bad guy. You know what I mean? But I see Doom being built slowly, and he's gonna be the next bad guy after Kang.
Well, there's a possibility because we still got Fantastic Four coming out.
Yeah,
we still got Fantastic Four. So now we just gotta hold off because I believe you can't have Fantastic Four without doing it.
Oh, that's a given.
Like really, who else are they gonna fight?
The Mole Man.
Oh yeah, okay. The Mole Man. He's one that's not mentioned barely.
Yeah, so in 20 and it's not far away either. Not far away. Next 2 years we're seeing Fantastic Four. So that means next 2 years we're seeing Doom. And Quantumania is the start of this next phase. So after Wakanda Forever, which is the ending of phase 4, phase 5 is starting up with Quantumania. So we're actually gonna be seeing Kang as a villain from the start of this phase. And
yeah, they have an Avengers Kang Dynasty, I think. Also, they're doing. They announced.
And that's going to be the first half to Secret Wars.
Wow.
Because we have Avengers Kang's Dynasty. And then within the same year, 6 months apart, we have Avengers Secret Wars.
All right. So Kang Dynasty is probably going to lead into Secret Wars.
Yep.
That was my guess. I'm more curious about the whole thing with the Secret Invasion because I wanted to see how they were going to play that out because Doom was actually one of the few people who knew what was going on and realized it.
Yep. And I will say, like, a lot of times when there are these large crisis events, one of the first people you see roll up to help is Doom. But again, of course, like you said, always to his own ends, to his own means.
Yeah, he always has his own personal gain as to why he's doing what he wants to do, you know? Yeah. So, I mean, it's the same with you guys, when Marvel put out The Siege, that was when after Civil War, when the Avengers were disbanded and Oscorp had all these villains running around claiming that they were the Avengers.
Oh yeah, yep.
Yeah, so Doom formed the Cabal, which was all the masterminds, you know.
Yep. They were essentially like the evil version of the Illuminati.
Yeah, pretty much. But again, Doom and Osborn kept clashing heads because, they both wanted to be the leader of the shit, And Doom ain't no follower,
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like one of my favorite parts of the Siege, there was when Dr. Doom blew up Oscorp. Like to smithereens, like he blew it to shreds. And it was so he showed up to Osborn's office unannounced, and then Osborn loses his shit. Oh, you have some nerve coming in here in my building, in my property, unannounced, and then he threatened Doom. All of a sudden, that wasn't Doom. That was Doom. That was nano Doombots built together to make Dr. Doom.
Oh,
and they all started breaking apart, and they were little bombs. They were little nano Doombots that blew up into bombs. And then the actual Doom, after he blew up Oscorp, he came out on the screen and he was like, "Yo, talk to me nice," pretty much. Next time it's gonna be even worse. He thought it was Doom the whole time, and it was a Doombot.
That's good.
Doom is a goon, man. He's a goon. Like he literally, I don't think there's anyone that Doom truly fears.
And it's crazy though. Like as far as Doom, as big as a character he is. Outside of the comic book world, Doom is very influential too, in the hip hop realm also. There's there's an artist named I don't know if you guys ever heard of him. His name is MF Doom.
R.I.P. Yep.
Yeah, so rest in peace, MF Doom. MF Doom built his whole hip hop career around Dr. Doom. You listen to his albums, he has skits from the old Fantastic Four cartoons, with Doom talking and shit like that, The guy wore a mask like Doom rapping, So.
And
tell you a funny story. Back in 2008, MF Doom was doing a show. He pulled some actual Dr. Doom shit. This motherfucker was in Central Park performing, but he was also in the UK the same day performing.
Wait, so he went from NYC Central Park
No, here's the thing. So there was 2 performances, one in Central Park, one in the UK, both the same day. The actual Doom was in Central Park, but he had somebody dressed like him. You know, he pulled a Doombot thing in the UK.
That's dope. That is sick, yo.
Yeah,
I
man.
didn't even know that.
Yeah, he did that back in 2008. He's actually done it a few times, but the first time he did it was in 2008, where he'd be performing somewhere, but then you'll see like the same day he's performing somewhere else, but it's not actually him. The actual him is, you know, he's in one place, but it's somebody else playing him somewhere else.
That's dope.
Yeah.
And that's interesting because like MF Doom he is such a like pivotal icon within hip hop and pop culture. So for him to that's dope. That is, I mean, but we've seen it before, with essentially, with music being inspired by like outside sources, things that are outside the hood, outside of hip hop. We see what Wu-Tang was. They're inspired by Shaolin and all these other things. I always find that so damn dope.
Yeah, man.
And that's why I really can't wait, because like even though I don't know much about him, he's hands down one of my favorite villains. Within Marvel, it's like ain't nobody's fucking with him.
Yeah, Doom is dope, man. Definitely one of the best villains like the Marvel Universe has ever created, honestly.
Because we've seen him go toe to toe with like Titans, like, and just like you said, he went against the Beyonders. Like I feel like he's on so many different levels. So usually, if you look at Marvel, they have their heroes and their villains set up in certain like this like certain tiers. So the way I see it, like there's ground level heroes, ground level villains. So if you look at that, that's like the Defenders, Luke Cage, Blade, those ground.
Yeah, more of your street level guys,
Yeah. And then you have your more like global heroes such as like Thor, the Avengers, and then when you move up from them, you're on that cosmic level of the Eternals, Celestials, stuff like that. Captain Marvel. But Doom, you never see him on just one level. Like sometimes you'll see him on that street level, those heroes having to deal with him. You see him on the global level, the Avengers have to deal with him. But then you can also see him on that cosmic level. I see him fighting, like you said, Eternals, Beyonders, dealing with Galactus, Silver Surfer on that galactic level like that. So,
yeah, Doom's one of those guys. Anybody could get it, man.
Yeah, exactly. like he's not afraid of the smoke at all, and that's one thing I like about him.
Yeah, one thing I've always wanted to see. I mean, they have a what if issue on it, but it would have been dope to see Dr. Doom like hold the Infinity Gauntlet, like collect the gems and have the gauntlet,
Yeah, that would have been nice. I mean, we got season 2 of What If coming up, so
they've ordered a season 3 also.
Oh yeah, yep. I forgot about they got season 3 coming up too, 2 and 3. So
so Blaze, who would you want to see play Dr. Doom?
That's a good question.
In the movies?
Absolutely.
I don't know. To be honest.
Now, this is one of those moments where I'm going to throw this out there because we all agree representation is important.
Yeah.
So in the comics, Doom is usually particularly played as being a gypsy of Eastern European culture. So he's usually depicted as being white. Now, would you care if his race was bent? Would you care if he was like black or Hispanic?
I don't think it would have mattered because he wears a mask anyway.
Exactly.
That's a good point. Now, what is the story? What is the actual story behind him wearing the mask?
What was that?
I said, what is the actual story behind him wearing the mask? Because I know like his face is slightly disfigured, but I don't know how it happened.
So there's a few different iterations of how Doom got that mask. Like there's one version where Doom actually melted that mask to his face.
Ew.
That's like what they did with Julian McMahon and the older Fantastic Fours. When they had Johnny go supernova, and he melted the armor to him.
And then there's
playing that character.
And then there's the other one. The other version is where his face got all burnt up and scarred and shit. So that's to cover his face. Yeah.
I'll be honest. Personally, I really did like Julian McMahon. Julian McMahon when he played him with the first two Fantastic Four, I feel like he did a fantastic job of playing Victor Von Doom.
That was good for what it was.
Yeah, I feel like they definitely could have expanded on him, but again, like the MCU wasn't built yet, so they had to keep him. They had to keep him with that box. Fox didn't have all the rights. Nobody had everything was everywhere, so they had to keep him within that box for that.
Yeah, one guy I wouldn't mind seeing as Doom, being that he looks pretty cool as Dr. Fate, is Pierce Brosnan.
Oh, Pierce Brosnan, yes, yeah. That I don't want to talk about it because that gets me tight. I'm like, can't have Dr. Fate taking off his mask.
Yeah,
that's the point of Dr. Fate, but it's Pierce Brosnan. It's in his contract. He needs that face time.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't you say that? Didn't you say that the other day, Triage?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Like, but no, I can see that though. But see, here's my thing. I could see that when he was younger. I could have seen that more when he was younger. Maybe not right now with him being older and stuff. I feel like he is a better fit for Dr. Fate. But no, yeah, for me, I don't know. For me, I still gotta stick with Julian.
Listen, man, that man was fucking 007. All right, he's got to get his FaceTime bit.
Yeah.
But now this is gonna be interesting because now they're actually bringing in Namor, and again, like you said, we're gonna be seeing. It bothered me because we're not going to be seeing the full-fledged Illuminati, which means we're more than likely not going to get to see the full-fledged Cabal either.
Yeah, to be honest, I wasn't really a fan of this version of the Illuminati. I understand it was another Earth. It was Earth 88 is their version, but still, man, come on. You could have
get murked out like that. It's supposed to be the smartest minds in the universe. Like, you should have known better.
Yeah, they went out like suckers, man.
For real. And what got nothing against this whatsoever, because I know I might catch some heat from it, but having the dudes get murked out like that without any real fight at all. With no fight at all, actually, no fight at all.
Here's another thing with that. So apparently it was supposed to be one of those things where they were just misinformed. Because in most universes, Wanda doesn't get caught by Hydra. Like we all watched WandaVision, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
Right? So there's that scene where Agatha Harkness is talking to her about the whole experience with the Mind Stone because everybody else Strucker experimented on died, with the exception of her and Pietro. Now, if we know Pietro and Wanda are both mutants now because that M-word got dropped in Kamala Khan, Ms. Marvel, the question that you got to ask is, did the Mind Stone truly give them their powers, or did it unlock what was already there?
Well, that's what Agatha was getting at in that. That's what she was pointing at. Was like, no, like the Mind Stone didn't give you these powers. You already have the powers, and that's what she asked. Is like, so this happened when you were a kid. You're telling me the super high tech Stark Industry bomb landed right in front of you and it didn't go off? Are you sure that you're the reason why it didn't go off? You sure that you're the one that wasn't holding it together and stopping it from exploding?
Yeah.
So that's what she was getting at with that, and I appreciate that because now then that brings in the idea of the high evolutionary, because technically, remember in the comic book, Pietro and Wanda were mutants, but their X gene hadn't been activated, but they were kidnapped by evolutionary and experimented on, and he activated their X gene.
Speaking of the high evolutionary, he's the villain for Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, I saw that. That now I'm interested in seeing that.
Yeah,
because I just feel like so they're bringing in so many big bads. You got the high evolutionary. They revealed Kang as a villain. It's just it's just gonna be, and they revealed Namor as a villain in this. So there's
I heard MODOK is in the Quantumania also.
I heard that too.
Yeah.
So I want to see how they run that, how that's gonna work. Like I said, the trailer's leaked out there. You can't hear much or see much because it's like super muffled and it's like a really bad angle. Because you can't have your cameras while you're in the halls. You can't have cameras, cell phones, none of that while you're in the hall. But it was very interesting. So you actually, from what I could see, it goes back to where Janet, right? Was in the quantum realm, and like so you get to see when she first goes into the quantum realm. You see her like living there for a while and everything, and actually I couldn't see too much. That's just a bit that I got so far. And then you see Scott come face to face with Kang, and it's actually he doesn't. It's not purple Kang. It's not purple or blue Kang. It's not fish tank head Kang. And so it's the same version. I don't know if it's the same iteration of Kang that we see in Loki.
Yeah, that's you talking about He Who Remains?
Yeah. It's
that's a version. Yeah, that's one of his many versions.
Mm-hmm. So it's going to be interesting. They're clearly absolutely building up for Dr. Doom. I heard that there was an Easter egg that a lot of people missed in Moon Knight.
Really? Referring to whom?
Referring to Doom. So, in the scene where he's like the first scene where he wakes up in like that little village or whatnot, when he's roaming from, and then like it's like right after he first comes into contact with
Ethan Hawke.
Yeah. Yep. When he first comes into contact with Ethan Hawke, right after that, and he tries to take the scarab, and he just like phases out, and then Mark takes over, and then he wakes back up, and he's in the truck, and he's like, what the hell am I doing? He's like driving the truck down the running away from the guys. Behind him, on the inside of the like right behind him, apparently it says Doom Industries. Or like it was like Doom's company in the back.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I missed that.
Definitely.
I'm gonna see if I can find that image. And I can put it up on the screen so we can all. There it is. Wow, it's the first thing that pops up.
Well, that's dope.
Let's see, where's that? Where's that? But I'm really interested to see what they're gonna do with Doom. I feel like if you could, what storyline would you like to see them like bring to life in the MCU for Doom?
Honestly, I would just well, it's kind of late for the Infinity, saga, because that was done with, you know what I mean? But I would have been hyped to see Doom involved in like the Infinity Saga somehow, But moving forward, I would like to see what's his name of this storyline that he's what's the name of it? Realm of Kings. I would like to see a version of that. Yeah, that's involving like the Shi'ar Empire and the Inhumans.
Oh yeah.
I would definitely like to see more Inhuman work. That would be really good.
We gotta round that off so it's not let's just say their touch with the Inhumans as far has not been great. But the Shi'ar Empire coming in, that's something that's going to be real special because I want to see somebody fight Gladiator.
Mm-hmm. That's going to be good.
Yeah, Pete, Gladiator is one of those slept on. Yeah, people be sleeping on him, man. But then again, he's one of those characters that's not spoken about much either, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's usually like, I don't want to say, because they just don't focus on Black Bolt and Medusa. They don't really focus on anybody else that's in that main Eternal squad besides them two.
From the Inhumans, yeah.
So honestly, that bothers me a little bit. I would definitely like to see them, you know, like you guys said, full-fledged that. Because I was really interested in that storyline when they were pulling it through in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, that was dope.
So I don't know. Hopefully they stop playing games and they get that on the ball and get that rolling.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's funny you bring up Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because they actually did the Inhumans decent on that. So I'm confused to like where they kind of went off the rails with it. But, you know, things happen.
Yeah. So, yeah, I was able to find that photo from Moon Knight with the, let's see, it's right here.
Now, Blaze, correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't there a period of time where Dr. Doom becomes Sorcerer Supreme?
Yes.
Like how does that come about?
That wasn't even nor like a 616 or 6 Ultimate Universe thing. That was like some other. It was like a side story. Yeah.
All right, here we go. Boom, right here. So in the background here, we got one of the crates, one of the boxes that are in that van. Von Doom, right in the back there.
Oh shit!
Didn't notice.
Yeah, nobody knows. Like, somebody ended up bringing it up like after the whole like thing had already been done and over with. So
it could be Von Dutch though. That's a name brand.
Oh my god!
I'm just saying.
Well, yeah, I mean the little wherever he was did look a little Dutchy to me.
Yeah, but let's stay with Von Doom, you know.
Yeah. So that's interesting. I heard one rumor that like his castle was shown in the background or something like that. I'm like, let's just see the man already, right? Come on, let's just stop playing. Let's just like.
Yeah, but with the Wakanda, with the Black Panther movie coming out and introduction to Kang and Fantastic Four, yeah, Doom's it's about that time, you know.
It's in the words of Thanos, it's inevitable.
Yep,
it's inevitable.
Yeah, but I would like to see Doom involved in that Secret War shit too. You know, if they go the comic route where he becomes God.
Oh, that would be a crazy ending to that too. That would be.
That would be the best way to tie it together because, like, in my mind, whenever I think Secret War, I always go back to the episodes from the Spider-Man cartoon from the 90s, where the Beyonder took several of his villains and put them on that planet that had never known war, never known famine, never known strife or race issues, and he just let them loose, and then he fast-forwarded time and then told Spider-Man, here's several heroes, pick who you want, go fix this.
Yeah.
Jeez.
That's like the original. That's from the original Secret Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because in that cartoon, Doom was one of those people that got brought to that planet, but instead of engaging in war or causing strife amongst nations, he basically cut out his own little piece of the pie, called it New Latveria, ruled the shit with an iron fist, but it wasn't Utopia. In my Darth Sidious voice.
Yeah.
So, and then he basically let it be known, like, you know, this is my sanctum. No one's gonna come in here and do whatever they want unless they do, they're gonna answer to me. And then, but that was all just a ploy for him to wind up stealing the Beyonder's powers.
So, here's my thing. So, the way Doom works, the way he does is anytime we see him, he always, finds his own. He always ends up ruling Latveria, and essentially makes it his own, and again ends up making it better than what it was. Yeah, he rules with Iron Fist, but the people are happy. The people that live there in Latveria, they're loyal to him.
So the people on Apocalypse are loyal to Darkseid too. That's not necessarily a good thing.
There's a difference though. The people that live on Apocalypse are also as almost all of them, just with the exception of Mr. Miracle, who are also just as dark and as cruel as Darkseid. So living on a planet like that where he's just absolutely cruel,
Yeah, they look at it this way: you can't beat them, join them.
Exactly. At least with Doom, his people, he makes sure his people is fed. He takes the people that are loyal to him. He takes care of, and that's something that I've always seen throughout. If you do right by Doom, he's gonna do right by you in one way, shape, or form, whether you like it or not. He never owes a debt. He always pays it back, no matter if you like the way he pays it back or not.
That's one thing. Doom's a man of his word. You know what I mean? Whether it's in a positive note or a negative note, despite his antics, like the Doom is a man of his word.
So great, he's a Lannister. They always pay their debts.
Yeah.
Great. Honestly, I can absolutely 100% see that connection as well. Just the way they ruled compared to the way we see Doom rule, like in every iteration of them, it makes a lot of sense to me. And like I said, this is why Doom's one of my favorite villains. I don't know too much about him, but anytime he pops up in anything, like Ultimate Alliance, the game Marvel Ultimate Alliance,
that was a great game.
That was a great damn Doom. He becomes a god and wipes out all the heroes.
And he stole all his powers, remember, correctly.
Mm-hmm. Nope, he became an All-Father.
I forgot about that game.
Yeah, it's a great game. It's amazing. I team up with my brother has it on his PC, so I team up with him sometimes, and we play. He has Ultimate Alliance 3 on his Switch, so he's been running through that. Because Ultimate Alliance is on his PC, he can mod it and stuff, so he can throw in other heroes, other characters that weren't originally in the game to just like improve the gameplay of the game. Like, let's see, right now, like when last time I played with him, I was running around as Naruto and Sasuke, and he was running around as Goku and Vegeta in Marvel Ultimate Alliance.
Oh shit!
Yeah. He gets nasty with the modding, bro. He goes crazy.
Nice.
But that storyline with Doom was dope. It was just so dope, and I wouldn't be surprised if the way they revealed Doom is like he's been the mastermind behind. Because all right, so we got Wakanda, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who is sitting on top of the rarest metal in the Marvel world, one of the strongest metals in the Marvel world as well. Is man, and it's a resource. It's highly sought after, which means money. And now we got Namor, who is for those of you who've seen the trailer, is invading Wakanda. Which clearly you can see that this is based off the trailer, that this is like some old revenge shit from something that T'Chaka or someone before him did. It had to be T'Chaka. Because of the age difference there. So I had to be T'Chaka based off something he did. But I wouldn't be surprised if his gear is made by Doom. I wouldn't be surprised if Doom is the one behind all this. Like, using Atlantis to weaken Wakanda so he can slip in and take the resource.
I mean, we did kind of see a villain manipulate a situation already with Baron Zemo, so.
Yup.
That's a possibility.
And then that could bring in also where he gets his armor, how his armor is able to give him super strength. His armor is able to, absorb all these different energies, because that's what
Vibranium does.
Yeah, it absorbs the energy. So that
I can see them going with Doom's armor being made out of vibranium.
Because that's the only metal. That's the only like rare like super metal. I'm gonna call it. It's the only super metal that we have so far, and the MCU, until they bring in the X-Men later on down the line.
Adamantium has been mentioned.
Yeah.
Shit, they could have it so the armor is a mixture of both.
Oh, that'd be crazy.
That'll be a nice little hint. That'll be a nice little Easter egg there. That Cap's shield is supposed to be made of both.
Yeah.
So that would be. When I first watched Captain America, that with the first Captain America, first Avenger, when Stark was showing him the shield, that's what I was waiting for him to say. I was waiting for him to say it's made out of vibranium and adamantium, but he didn't go there. I was like, oh, okay, bet. But I don't know if you guys caught this, a little side tangent. In Endgame, when Steve is watching Peggy on some creeper shit through the window, and she's on the phone, if you listen to what she says, you can't really hear what she says. But if you turn on the subtitles, it tells you what she says. So she's on the phone with one of her field operators, field commanders, and he's talking about how they're dealing with some enhancing the visual. There's she's like, what do you mean lightning? From where? And apparently there was a storm going on that rolled in out of nowhere. Right? So everyone's like, that was like a quick hint. And mind you can't hear her audio. You just hear him looking at her. You see him looking at her. You can't really hear her audio. So if you turn on subtitles, the subtitles are going to tell you everything that she says in that scene, based off. When they do subtitles, they pull it from the manuscript. So whatever's written in the manuscript is what you're going to see in the subtitles. That's why sometimes the subtitles will be off, because the actor changed the line or changed a word or two while they were actually doing the scene. So we already heard a little bit about the X-Men, or an enhanced individual who can manipulate the weather.
Right.
Not saying any name, but.
And if memory serves me correctly, I believe we were already talking about this a little bit earlier. From my knowledge, Beyonce Carter was supposed to be playing Storm, but that didn't happen.
Yeah, unfortunately, because rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. Unfortunately, because that's what they were gonna originally go with. They're gonna have Beyonce play Storm. I don't know how I felt about it. I was iffy about it, but so that was originally supposed to be the storyline for this. But now, I don't know. I just feel like we could definitely we find out in the end it was Victor who had orchestrated the entire thing for the fall of Wakanda, going forward into the rise of Atlantis with Namor and everything like that. So now, because that could have been the deal. I'll provide you with what the resources that you need to take revenge on Wakanda, what they did to Atlantis, to what they did with your father. All I ask in return is that you give me the vibranium.
Word.
It would make sense. It'll be a nice. It'll be true to Victor. It'll be true to Doom. So I personally would love seeing that. And then and that will lead him over. That'll be a dope post credit scene. That'll be a real dope post credit scene.
Yeah, sure would.
So I'm interested to see what they're gonna do with Doom. I truly hope that these whole next two phases here are the build up and with bringing him in. But again, he plays a pivotal role in Secret Wars.
Yeah. Kang Dynasty is going to be a big one too, man. That movie, because if they go with the comics, it's basically Kang has taken over. He's ruled every Earth, every version of his. He's ruled. except Earth 616. And that's the problem, because the Avengers always giving him an issue.
Right.
But every other Earth, he's taken over. Every other timeline, he's conquered, except Earth 616.
Because they coordinate together, right? I believe they call themselves the Council of Kings, and those kings are always asking ours, why hasn't he got the job done yet?
Yeah, and they put him under pressure and shit, They be making him look like a chump. Like, come on, man, we done took over. What's wrong with you?
Exactly. So, and now that'll be dope to bring in that Council of Reed just as well, because again, like you said earlier, Doom and Reed, I see them as the same person on different ends of the spectrum.
As a matter of fact, hold on, I was actually reading something earlier. Give me a second.
I think that would be pretty interesting to see.
Yeah, I was actually reading something on Kang earlier. It's a book I have, and it pulled up his origin. So, hold on, it's right here. Actually, where it breaks down, he's right here, where it talks about him and Reed. So basically, he's in all the other Earths. They envied the Avengers, like the Kangs, and they destroyed him. So here's Kang saying, he goes, I was born in the 30th century of an Earth parallel to this one. My origin name does not matter, but I had a great ancestor, a warlord and scientific genius. He's talking about, some say his name was Richards. Others say it was Von Doom. Yeah. But then when he met Doom, he felt like Doom was more like him than Reed Richards was. Like he wanted to be more like Doom. So the whole outfit that Kang wears, was inspired by
what Doom got.
Yeah, it was inspired by Doom.
Yeah, I can definitely see that, because isn't Kang's real name like suspected to be Nathaniel?
Yeah, Nathaniel Richards, and
he's Franklin Richards' great grandson or great grandson?
Great grandson.
Oh, so like 4 or 5 grades, like 4 or 5 generations. Okay, and then as we can see in MCU, then one of them Richards down the line has some jungle fever.
Yeah, and then he's over here talking about Doom, how he feels that Doom is more of an ancestor to him. He's like, a great warrior is meant to rule his inferiors, not to serve them. But one man grasped this truth, Victor Von Doom, a man who held his own against the mightiest of his day. Could he be my true ancestor?
Sounds like a preacher from the Bible over there.
Yeah, boy.
Yo, man, Doom is such a damn goon, bro. Like, he's going to flip this whole MCU on its head. But that's really truly if they actually allow him to, like, allow Doom to be Doom and actually go full fledged, because we see what happened when they made brought a hero in that was extremely overpowered.
Wait, say it again?
We've already seen what happens when they brought a character in that's extremely overpowered. Like Captain Marvel, like she's extremely overpowered. That's why.
Here's my thing with that too, is that we never really knew where she was when fucking Nick Fury paged her, so she could have been even farther than Thanos knew about. It's one of them things like, he didn't think of her as no threat. He might have heard of her, but not even cared that she was from Earth or that she was on standby. So it's like one of those things where she showed up, he was like, oh shit, okay. Listen, we need to like, you know what I mean?
Cannons, please, somebody cannons. What are people?
Right? So as far as that goes, but here's my thing with Victor too, and this is the thing, like, where he kind of stands alone from everybody else. He would have had a plan for every type of scenario. It's very rare you're going to catch him where he's like, oh, I didn't expect this, or this is This wasn't in the plans. Nah, he's gonna have contingencies for contingencies.
Yep.
And that's what I liked about the Marquis of Death storyline, because after he sent them back in time to die, Doom didn't die. He
Right.
spent all those decades and centuries learning the mystic art. So that then you fast forward to that moment, that very moment that the Marquis sent him back in time. The Marquis' apprentice runs his I think he like runs his hand through the Marquis' chest, pulls it out, Marquis turns around, the apprentice pulls his hood back, he's fucking Doom. Doom was the new apprentice the entire time.
Yeah, I gotta go back and read that Marquis of Death story.
Yeah, I can have Triage send you the comics explained. Comics explained did a whole video on the entire storyline of it. Like I granted I watched it a while ago, so I may be a little fuzzy on some of the aspects of it. But in the end, come to find out it was Doom the entire time. So Doom had orchestrated the entire thing. From that moment that he got put back in time, he's like, I'm going to get revenge. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to disguise myself and learn all these mystic arts and everything. Because I already know them. I'm just going to go hard on pointing them out. And then when the Marquis comes through, he's not going to know it's me. Centuries before this. So he's going to think that, oh, he's teaching me something. When in all reality, I know everything already. I know more than he does. So when that time comes, when he killed me, I'm just going to be able to literally stab him in the back. And that's the fall of the Marquis of Death.
But yeah, definitely, man. I'm definitely want to read more on that Marquis of Death. I don't know much about the Marquis of Death because he's one of the newer characters that came out last couple of years.
Yeah. So it's definitely worth it. That whole storyline is absolutely like just blew me away. It literally had my jaw on the floor like, oh. And that's what I really I always knew Doom was a badass. And when I read that or watched him explain that, that's where I came to the realization, oh, Doom is that man. He's Doom. Like Doom the Goon, I swear they need to put that on his fandom Wikipedia under his nickname, Doom the Goon. But yeah, man, I look forward. I seriously look forward to it. So with that, I'll end this half of it. We'll end this half of it. We're talking about Doom. We're gonna take a quick break, and we're gonna come back and we're gonna get into what we already touched on it a little bit, but we're gonna get into what San Diego Comic-Con just dropped for everyone. So definitely, anybody who's watching, everybody who's watching, we'll be right back.
All right, bet.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back at it again with the Power Maximus. We here with Lord Triage, and here we are.
All right, man. Ready to kick it off whenever you are.
All right, we are back. Welcome to the Super Breakdown, limited edition, live edition. This is what we doing. All right, so we're back for the second half. Now, last half went really well. I just want to give a shout out. Thank you so much, Blaze, for coming through and talking with us and educating us on Dr. Doom. Because again, like I said, I really ain't know too much. Triage said he ain't know too much, so we definitely appreciate that. We already touched on a few things. This time around, we're gonna get a little more into a few of the other reveals from the San Diego Comic-Con. So let's kick it off. So you saw all the trailers that have come out so far. The first one being I Am Groot, which is going to be on Disney Plus August 10th. So it's going to be coming up soon. What are you thinking? What are you thinking with this one? Where do you think they're going with this?
I'm thinking it's going to be an origin story. It's going to be the beginning of Groot and how Groot came to be. But I'm a little curious to what the actual premise of the story is going to be, because I'm not sure if it's going to be a series of shorts with an overall character development, or if it's just a series of shorts, like sort of like What If, how every episode was something different.
Me personally, I think it might be the every episode was something different. Instead of going through a linear progression, there's gonna be like a time jump. Different shenanigans that Groot had gotten into before he met up with Peter. Oh well, I'm sorry, we met up with Rocket.
Right.
Because I saw a little something in the Guardians of the Galaxy trailer that got leaked a little bit. It was just like a still, and it looked like a baby Rocket. Like before he got experimented on and stuff. So I can definitely see them hitting this with an origin story. Because I was watching the trailer and it was the one scene where he's on that one planet with the little things that were like going to war with him out of nowhere, trying to attack him, and then he becomes a king or whatever, or a god. And but then there's another scene where he's like blowing shit up. So I don't know, man. I don't know where they're gonna take it, but I would like that though. I would like to see and then we get to see teenage Groot, and his shenanigans, and then get to see grown Groot, and then when he actually ends up meeting Rocket. So that'll be, because we don't know how long Groot and Rocket have been friends.
Yeah, this is true. Like he could have actually met Groot as a kid, and Groot, he could have raised him.
There's that possibility, yeah. Rocket could have escaped, being experimented on, and then they bump into each other while they're still young and still kids, and kind of just grew up together, getting into a whole bunch of shenanigans and stuff. So that'll be cool. I like that. Yeah, I'd definitely watch that one. But that's coming up next. That's when we closest, because we just had Miss Marvel end. That was a nice ending to Miss Marvel there. With I don't want to give anything away, but yeah, that was a nice ending to Miss Marvel. And then we got a Groot coming next, and then literally, and I think this is I don't know if this is I Am Groot. It's a movie that's going to be on Disney Plus. It's not episodic.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I swear they said it wasn't episodic. It was going to be an actual a movie. Let me just double check real quick, fact check myself. No, I take it back. Animated series. So yeah, it's gonna be a show. Oh, yeah, and they got Vin Diesel. I mean, it kind of makes no difference if he's voicing Groot or not. But yeah, so yeah, it seems like it's gonna be episodic. So one season, and then right after that we got She-Hulk. So there's 2 shows. Wow. Okay, so they're gonna have 2 shows going on within the same month. They're gonna have She-Hulk and I'm Groot going on. Okay, they're doubling up. I don't think Marvel's ever doubled up before.
Not really.
No, because there's always been. I know Disney's doubled up because they've had like a Star Wars show going at the same time they've had a Marvel show going. But I don't think they've ever had two Marvel shows going at the same time.
No, I don't believe so.
So that's probably gonna last. The way they've been doing it's been lasting 6 weeks, so you get 2 months of each. And then that's gonna lead right on into what I am personally excited for, hands down, super excited for. Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever. That is going to be a glorious, like I said earlier. I already got my suit, my outfit planned out. So I got a black and gold dashiki coming in. I got some Stacey Adams black suede loafers coming in. I'm gonna be locking my hair up. Get my locks going. Like I'm showing out. I'm showing out for this. I showed out for the first one, so I'm gonna go a step above and show up for this one too.
Mm-hmm.
So I know we touched on it a little bit in the first half there, but it was still more focused on Doom, Dr. Doom. So what are your full thoughts on the trailer and what they're probably like for like the overall scheme of the movie?
Well, from what I'm gathering, and this is just me taking from what I'm seeing, it's going to have a very strong women of power feel to it, where they're going to be coming up and necessarily taking the reins, because we see Angela Bassett as the Queen Mother who was addressing the UN apparently after something's happened. So I'm really interested to see how that's all tied together, whether it's the whole threat from the Atlanteans or if it's her addressing the situation with the late Chadwick Boseman's character, T'Challa, because as we all know, we lost him during the quarantine, and I'm feeling that they're writing his death into the MCU, whether it be at the hands of the Atlanteans or something took him and it was just completely out of their control, because it seems like she's almost mourning his passing.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, but the way it was phrased, it seems like she was mourning more than like multiple. You know what I mean? Not just T'Challa's, but I'm thinking because she says, "I'm the queen of the most powerful nation in the world, and my family, and all my family is gone." So it's like, all right, well, where's Shuri? What's going on with Shuri? What's going on? I know, and her husband's dead. What's going on with everyone else that was like his uncle and stuff like that? What's going on with all that? So, yeah, I think something really, really bad is gonna happen, and it's gonna change the direction of how they're gonna really be taking this. But at the end of the day, it's just gonna be a bittersweet movie. It's gonna be a bittersweet movie, and I'm me personally, I'm making like I said earlier, I'm definitely bringing tissues. I'm bringing a box of tissues. I'm stuffing it inside of my jacket, because it's gonna be in November, so it's gonna be just a little nippy out. So definitely, because I'm about 100% sure I'm gonna cry. I don't know about nobody else. I'm securing myself to say I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry like a baby because I get emotional with stuff like that.
Well, it's one of the things, like, we really lost an icon in black cinema and just the world in general.
Yeah, yeah, and this was he's played Jackie Robinson. He's played James Brown. He's played Thurgood Marshall. He's been all these strong black characters throughout his and throughout history that he's portrayed. And then Black Panther being another one. If you guys don't know, please go, look up the history of the Black Panther, and you'll be able to see how, like, he's not just a superhero. He's not just a comic book hero. He's a symbol. He's the icon. And now to now have that visual representation of losing such an amazing actor, such an iconic actor, like having a visual representation right there, and essentially, I feel like they're gonna write a funeral into the movie, and that's gonna be the part that really messes a lot of people up. Now, for me, I'm interested in seeing. There's a clip in the trailer where there's underwater. It's like a water birth going on. Now, I'm unsure if that is the birth of a new king, if maybe T'Challa had a child, or if that's the birth of Namor.
Yeah, that's a good point. I would go more Namor, and I'm really interested to see what true angle they're going to take, whether he's going to be a full on villain or he's going to be an anti-hero. But they've been subtly hinting at the whole thing with the let's say difficult history between the Marvel version of the Atlanteans and the Wakandans, and it's like how I think if done correctly, it could be a real tit for tat type situation, but it's also like I'm a little curious how they're going to work that with Chadwick Boseman having passed away.
Yeah, for me, I think as a writer, I feel like, and I feel you also as a writer, I think you'll be able to see it this way as well. I think it would make most sense if it would be Namor that kills T'Challa, as like a sins of the fathers kind of thing, like I had stated earlier. Because we see in the trailer, I think it's Namor's father or somebody get killed in front of him, and so throughout the trailer we get to see that sense of a revenge kind of thing coming up. So I think this is what it may be. Maybe Namor taking revenge for the loss of his father, or the invasion of Atlantis, or the fall of Atlantis. But it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be very touching. And then, of course, on the lighter side of it, we get to see who the new Black Panther is going to be. Whether it be Shuri, whether it be someone else. We also get a look at Ironheart for the first time. Riri, she's also getting her own movie in a few years. So like I highly agree with you on. I feel like it's going to be very, very strong woman power, strong woman leads going into this film, and I look forward to it, because again, all these other women that are going to be in this movie are going to be following the lead of the Queen, Angela Bassett. Hey Auntie, who is as we all know, is an absolute rock star. She's an absolute goddess on the screen. So I feel like it's going to be really, really good. There's a lot of people that say, "Oh, I don't want Marvel to start taking this, girl power or woman power role." They got to, strangely and honestly upsettingly, they caught a lot of flack for that whole Women of Marvel scene in Endgame, which I thought, yes, it may not have been
necessary.
Yeah, it may not have been necessary, or like it cut into the flow of the action
Hard.
very, very hard, but I appreciate it for what it was. It was really good. It was awesome. It was really fun for me to watch. I loved it. It was like, all right, guys, all y'all men getting your asses beat out here. Hold on, let us step in. Let us show you how to do it. And I respect that 100%. I feel like it could have been written in a lot better. Instead of having the standoff scene, they could have literally just had them flow into them helping out. There was no need to have the whole group shot of them. I feel like that group shot Like let me specify that specific group shot there really cut into the pacing of that whole scene. They could have did it where like it flowed into all the women working together.
Yeah, they definitely did that a lot more subtly.
Yeah, and it still would have made an impact. Or even then, had that one, had that group shot at the end after they did everything they did, and helped out get things where they got to go, and have it at the end to really make a point, like, yeah, we just did that, and so I look forward to it because you can clearly see in the one scene where we do see, someone in a black and gold Panther suit. It most certainly, not to stereotype or assume, but it most certainly does look like it's a more feminine Black Panther suit.
Right.
But it looks badass. It looks so badass, and whoever's in that suit is gonna dominate whatever force that they are going against.
Well, here's the thing too, because we mentioned this before in another episode. You got to remember, only members of the royal family in the comics can ingest the heart-shaped herb, because if you're not a member of the royal family, it poisons you.
Yep. So here's the thing. So it would have to be Shuri, but there's also a scene when you see that they're flooding the sanctuary. They're flooding and burning the heart-shaped herb.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a possibility that whoever's in this Panther suit doesn't even have the actual powers of the Black Panther, which means it could be anyone.
All right, don't say that. When that person takes off the helmet, we see Justin Bieber. I'm gonna remember this moment.
I regretted it as soon as I said it.
Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. I'm the Panther now.
I mean, there is an iteration of a White Panther, though, of a white guy as like with similar abilities, similar powers. There's an iteration of a White Panther, but we don't do that here. We don't do that here. But no, it's gonna be interesting because I believe that suit may be a spin-off of Killmonger's Golden Jaguar suit. I'm calling it Golden Jaguar. I'm not calling it Golden Panther. I'm calling it Golden Jaguar. That's what a Panther is. A Panther is just all black Jaguar.
Fair enough.
So it could be like a spin-off of his suit. Maybe be like last ditch effort. Need someone to step in. Panther's down, so somebody just grabs the necklace, throws it on, suits up, jumps out there and jumps into the battle. Like last ditch effort. But I really feel like what the Queen was saying, I feel like Shuri might also not be in this movie for very long, which does bother me. But I do know that the actress is no longer with a part of the cast. Let me see. What was her name? I can never pronounce her name. I can never. Latia, right? Yeah, I think Letitia. It's Letitia, right? Let me double check here. I'm gonna fact check myself real quick. Let me double check here. Oh yeah, comic books, so it's accurate. Back in December. All right, so yeah, it looks like she was later removed from the production of Black Panther: Wakanda Forever due to an injury, which led to much speculation and reports. Now we have news that she has been fired. So, with all the controversy that she had going on, with her strong stance on the COVID vaccine and stuff like that, I definitely wouldn't be surprised I would not be surprised if, like, yeah, they write her out the same way that they will be writing out, T'Challa and Chadwick. I really wouldn't be surprised. And then, because it just makes no sense. Like, why would she say all of my family's gone if she, all right, cool, yeah, Chadwick Boseman died, so they're writing out T'Challa, but you have a daughter, you know that, right, Miss? So, I think that Shuri does die in this, or at least is captured by the Atlanteans. So, either or. But I think it would fit the IRL situation better if they were to just completely write her out. Sadly and unfortunately, with the death of a extremely strong, young, smart, highly smart, with intelligence. Listen, I'm gonna say this. Don't say anything. With an intelligence higher than Tony Stark. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I know your stance on Stark. We get it. Fuck Stark. We get it. I was gonna say before you say it. Yeah, we get it. So yeah,
but that would also make sense because we know that T'Challa coordinated with Shuri when he was in the field. So if Shuri's in the field now, she would need someone intelligent to coordinate with.
Yeah. So it would make sense to maybe Riri, because we see her in the trailer building her suit. So I feel like that could also be a possibility, but again, why would she say my entire family is gone? And as if she was mourning not just the loss of her country, but the loss of her children. So
right.
Yeah, I feel like set again for me, aside from the actor, I don't necessarily agree with the actor and her IRL standpoints, but I do 100% agree, and I love and appreciate the character herself being a young, strong, intelligent Black woman, and that's how they were even in the game that horrible Marvel Avengers game. They portrayed her very well. They took those aspects of the movie character, brought it into the game, as like nobody tell me what I can and can't do type thing. So I very much so look forward to seeing what they're doing with this, because going from this, Black Panther is going to be ending this phase 4 here, and then they're going to be going into what they're labeling as as the multiverse saga. And they left this nice little tidbit for us here. What happens when the powers that be meet the natural order of things? By Hickman and how do you say his name? Skitty. I don't know, but yes. So it's gonna be. If you correct me, that's John Hickman, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's going to be very interesting to see where they're going with this, because right after that, then we get jumping into What Ifs, season 2 of What Ifs. I heard that they're definitely going to expand on the Marvel Zombies, so I'm interested in that, and it's going to be rated TVMA. Mm-hmm. So I would like to see them pick up where they left off with What If. That was What If was absolutely amazing. I was like, what if?
Absolutely. Which one's your favorite episode?
I'd have to say I think I speak for a lot of people when I say the Doctor Strange episode. I feel like it absolutely was the Doctor Strange episode. No. I take it back. You already know what I'm going to say. That's why I heard you say, I know exactly what you're going to say. Thanks for reminding me. Yes. Killmonger's episode. Hands down.
Yes.
Yep. I'm not gonna lie, I almost forgot about that episode. Because for me, for some reason I always blend that episode in with another episode. But no, that Killmonger episode, hands down. What if Killmonger saved Tony Stark? If you guys have not checked out What If, check it out. Disney Plus. It is awesome. Especially that episode of What If Killmonger saved Tony Stark. An entirely different spin on Killmonger. You know, what if he had done a different plan instead of the one he had? It plays out beautifully. So check that out. So I definitely want to see more of that Killmonger, because that Killmonger was an absolute savage, an absolute evil genius.
Here's my thing with my boy Ninja Joppa, because the thing that I find so interesting is because Killmonger's been around since the 40s, and that period of time, T'Challa has not beat him once in a fight. So I get that, you know, Chadwick had to disarm Michael B. Jordan, and then we had to have the good guy win, in my air quotations.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, I foresee that with the whole thing with the multiverse clashing, we could get another version of him that's not quote unquote so evil or dark. It might have been one of those things, like, you know, he did have the heart-shaped herb inside of his body. Granted, he was stabbed in the chest, but he could have survived the injury, and now he's locked in his cell, pissed off.
That's true.
I mean, we've seen people survive crazier shit.
Actually, well, yeah, we see T'Challa survive falling off a massive cliff into running water without the heart-shaped herb. So imagine, yeah, I can see that. Actually, I can actually see that in this universe, in this iteration. Not even in others. I can definitely see that. I can definitely see that, and then bringing that out as like a whoa, what? You know,
Yeah.
that's about shock value. Like, yeah, no, you thought he died, but he really didn't, because Marvel has a nice track record with doing that.
Like the Atlanteans are invading. What do you mean? Yeah, we need help. We need help. And all of a sudden, you don't mean he's the only one who I think could help us, man. He has more war experience than any of us. Oh, God, we're not going to let him out. And then next thing you know, that you see fucking Mike doing push-ups in his cell, like, oh, really? It's release date.
Oh, now you need me type thing. I can see that. And then, of course, all the ladies, you know, faint and get wet or whatever, because he's going to be shirtless and stuff. So, yeah, I can definitely see it. We're going to have the medics on standby for some of these ladies. And some of these
you heard about the girl who bit through her retainer?
Oh, yes. Yeah, she had to get her retainer surgically removed because she was writing, like, clenching her jaw so hard. It, like, got embedded. Yeah. Yeah, I remember him talking about that too. He was like, I'm sorry. Like, yeah. So I definitely like to see that. What if I like to see more of how they're gonna do? I can see somebody dropping that sphere, that like the whatever that the little bubble that Uatu has them in. I can definitely see someone dropping it and releasing them, and then because as we saw, Killmonger was going to win that fight.
Yeah,
he was going to win that fight. So that's really cool. That's gonna be good to see. But even then, we don't know what other what ifs that they could be hitting us with.
Honestly, you want to know the one group I'd like to see them touch a little bit more on?
Who?
The Dora Milaje.
Yeah, well, it seems like in the movie they're going to.
For the adored ones. Because we've already seen, that Okoye's with the shits, and so is Io.
She beat the brakes off a U.S. agent.
They weren't even super soldiers.
He told you. They told you not to do it. They just stood by and watched that man get beat like that.
So you would have jumped in?
No.
That'd have been you and me. You were like, yeah, you're doing great, man.
I would have been right there with Bucky, like, yeah, yeah, right. I told you. Oh, look out behind you. Oh, see, you didn't listen then either. You didn't listen now, and then you listen then. This is what happens when you don't listen. Hell, I'm not jumping in. Get my eyes beat too. Hell no.
Right.
They're not even super soldiers.
Io, when she walked up to Black Widow, was like, "Move or you will be moved." And T'Challa was like, as entertaining as that would be,
he knew what it was too. I love the fact that he didn't really even know Widow like that. He didn't really know Natasha like that, but he respected that. I think she got something for you. I think she might got something for you. So I like the fact that he still paid her that respect when he said that too. That was real dope. But nah, bro, this is gonna be interesting. What I would like to see is now that they have the rights to everyone, they can definitely hit that what if with the X-Men. They can definitely hit the what if with the X-Men, hit the what if with the Fantastic Four. There's so many avenues that they can go now that they have everything. Now they have everybody. So what this next season of What If is going to be nuts. We actually might be able to see Captain Hydra. We actually might be able to see
oh shit. What if Captain Hydra met Captain Carter?
Oh, that would be interesting. Steve, why did you do this? Pink, pink, pink. Listen, you half the woman I knew you were. Don't let me call Wanda. Stop playing. Oh, man. I really can't believe Peggy really got two-pieced like that.
What you mean?
In Multiverse of Matter, I'm just thinking, I really can't believe Peggy really got two-pieced like that. Wanda really, really, really two-pieced her.
Once again, everyone underestimated her power.
Right?
Oh, we can handle your little witch.
What mouth? What? That was still stupid. There ain't no way Black Bolt gonna scream knowing he ain't got no mouth.
Listen, man.
They did that, yo. They did that just to troll us. I swear to God, that whole scene was just to troll us.
Yeah, we all thought it was fan service. Nope, it was them pissing in our Cheerios.
Uh-huh. And not even the regular Cheerios, the honey nut ones too, so it was extra disrespectful.
Like, we're out of milk. You're not gonna make do with this.
Listen, R. Kelly. Well, definitely took a page out of R. Kelly's book on that one. But it's going to be really interesting. It's going to be really fun, too. Now this, Agatha, Coven of Chaos, also coming out next year. I am very iffy on this. I wasn't really too interested in Agatha's character.
I'm gonna keep it all 100. I do not care if they tie it into the X-Men somehow, because Agatha Harkness is actually very good friends with Raven Darkholm Mystique. So
and really good friends with Reed Richards as well. She's the damn nanny for Franklin.
She is.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, yeah, I'm not too interested. I'm not gonna go out of my way. Just because, like I said, Agatha's character, she's not interesting to me. Not interested. But again, it's a part of the MCU, so I'm gonna watch it because it's gonna tie in at some point, something.
Right, that Halloween theme to it, and everyone will be watching it.
Yeah. So I'm not trying to I don't want to skip it and go to the be on the next day and be like, oh, who's this person? What's this? Oh, you didn't know that was an Agatha. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to go through that. But I'll see it. I'll see it. Maybe. But it sounds like it's going to be an origin. Sounds like it's going to be an origin, not a continuation. Which is also why I'm like, I don't really want it. But on to the really good bits, the good Gillette pieces. secret invasion that I am interested in seeing?
Well, we've seen the scroll, and they've talked about the whole thing with the Kree and how they've had their war and how it's been raging on and the problems that they've been having. So they've been touching base on that slightly in some of the other Marvel shows. They talked about it in Agents of Shield.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought the whole thing, I thought honestly we would have been got a good take on that, and I thought that's the angle they were going to go with Captain Marvel. But aliens invading wasn't the proper message to send at that point in time.
Yeah. Now, what I'm seeing though is now this is also going to be on Disney Plus. It's a mini series, so it's not a movie. It's a mini series, so that means they're going to really drag out a lot of the details, and we're really going to get a lot of detail with this. So I'm seeing like they have Christopher McDonald in here. If no one knows who he is, he's a lot of younger kids don't know who he is. Ever watch Happy Gilmore? He's the bad guy in Happy Gilmore. Apparently he's in it, and then of course we have Emilia Clarke.
Okay.
Yes, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be lovely. So that's gonna be really good on that half. For those of you who don't know, Triage, would you like to give people some background of what the secret invasion is?
Oh, absolutely. So basically, the secret invasion was supposed to be the whole thing with the Kree, with the Skrull invading the Earth. And the way they went about it was they removed key members in key groups, like Susan Storm and the Fantastic Four. They replaced Captain America, members of Parliament. They did it with within the White House and in Congress, and then from people in Hydra to literally every major group you can think of was compromised. And it's I think the only places that didn't get compromised were Wakanda and Latveria.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the actual Empire showed up, those people who had infiltrated led coups against their respective organizations, and then basically told the American people and the people of the world to surrender. But we ain't with that shit.
I gotta check something out because let me see here, because it wasn't World War Hulk. It was I'm trying to remember the storyline where Hulk gets so pissed that he jumps from planet to planet to planet, getting back to Earth. It was after, because it was the Skrull, because the Skrull destroyed the planet. It's like the second half of World War Hulk. Was it Worldbreaker?
I believe so.
Yeah, he gets so pissed off and angry because they destroyed. What is the name of the planet? Scar, right? Sakaar?
Wait, you talking about Clintar?
No, not Clintar. The planet that they sent him to in World War Hulk.
That honestly I cannot remember.
Planet Hulk. My bad. It was Planet Hulk that led into World War Hulk. So Planet Hulk. So if you've seen the movies, pardon me, I'm snacking while I'm talking. If you've seen the Avengers movies, the animated Avengers movies, you'll see at the end of the first animated Avengers movie, they send Hulk off because he goes berserk. They send him out into outer space saying, bro, you're too dangerous to be on Earth. He wakes up, finds this, bugs out, ends up crashing the ship on a planet. And then that's when the whole story of Planet Hulk goes through. And then he ends up falling in love with the princess or whatever. They get married. He becomes the king of Sakaar. Yeah, Sakaar. Sakaar. So yeah, he's doing his own thing. They're in love. They end up having a kid, Scar. and then the Skrull come and they invade that planet and actually end up destroying the planet and dip off. And within his anger and his rage, he hits a new level of gamma radiation, which brings him into becoming what is known as World Breaker Hulk, where he then just starts jumping from planet, not flying, jumping from planet to planet, chasing after the Skrull, leading him back to Earth.
Now, once again, because we have Professor Hulk, who's taking selfies saying green and serving tacos, and bitch.
He's a gamma radiated niche.
Say green. Say no, nigga. Grab your balls and smash something.
So that leads me to believe. Well, that's the thing. They already did World War Hulk. I'm sorry, Planet Hulk when they did Ragnarok. They put the two stories together. Well, no, they put together Unworthy Thor and Planet Hulk. They put them together with Ragnarok. So I'm interested to see, because Hulk isn't on. So by the time he gets to Earth, the secret invasion is over, and the world has lost. And then he gets to a point where he's like, he ends up calling Galactus.
The Hulk does?
Yeah.
Are you sure about this?
Yeah, he doesn't call Galactus, but his gamma radiation gets so out of control that Galactus can feels it. So Galactus comes to Earth and he's like, yo, so hold on. You might be right, I might be wrong.
I'm about to say, because I mean, what did he have him on speed dial? Like, yo, my nigga, I have issues.
No, but
come to Earth.
Galactus,
like, what happened?
Galactus does show up, and Hulk makes the deal. He's like, hey, listen. Because if I remember correctly, he had it out for the Skrull too. Let me double check. I want to fact check myself because I swear to God, I read this. Let me see. Versus the Earth. Let me see what's going on here. What we got going here? What's going on? All right. So I'm just gonna read it directly from this. Defeated Sentry during their pitch confrontation. Tony just unleashed satellite-based laser. Okay, so this was a different universe, Hulk. It was a different Earth. Yeah, so I was correct. Yeah, so Galactus ends up coming because he can feel all that energy, all that radiation. So he's like, oh, I'm hungry. It's time for me to go to Earth and eat. Hulk's like, listen, bro, there ain't nothing left of the Earth for you to really eat. So, you can have the Earth, but help me take them out. And so he wins. And so that's how, because he pulls up and there's like, well, everyone else is dead. You might as well take the Earth, but destroy the Skrull while you're here.
So does Hulk become his new herald? Or it was just like a partnership type shit? You scratch my back, I scratch yours.
Yeah, it was like tit for tat. You wash my back, I wash yours. We both wash the face. One hand washes the other, they both wash the face, kind of thing.
Right.
So I'm interested to see if that has anything to do with if they try to bring that in later on down the line as well, as like a nice ending. Because again, remember that this, like I said, this is a different universe, this is a different Earth. This is the Earth like 10223. So it's really far off. So, and again, if you don't know the multiverse, and every Earth is essentially, you can picture it right next to each other. And each of these Earths the next Earth is slightly different from the one before it. So that's going to be an interesting run to see. Hopefully they do that. Guardians 3, we touched on that a little bit. I heard Adam Warlock is going to be coming into the fray. We have the High Evolutionary they revealed. So that's gonna be interesting. I'll be honest, I don't know too much about High Evolutionary.
Neither do I.
So I'm interested to really learn a little bit more about him. See what they have going. See what he has going on. I do know one story I have heard about High Evolutionary is that he is the one who is responsible for Wanda and Pietro having powers. So like he kidnaps them when they were kids, when they're like super young, when they were babies, experiments on them, ends up activating their X gene. And then there's this whole thing where they get, like he sees them as failures, he sends them back, and then, but by that time they're air quotes freaks, and so they're getting run around by mobs and pitchforks and all this other stuff, and then this is where Magneto comes into play, and he like saves Wanda, and that's how she becomes his air quote daughter. So there's that story on that one. That's the only one I really know. But I do know the High Evolutionary is also responsible for the first person that was doing the mutant amplification experiments that Magneto eventually takes under his own in Wondagore. So, that's going to be interesting. But I definitely just want to see Adam Warlock. So I don't know how, again, to bring in a super powered hero into with a team that's not super powered, they're just heroes, and none of them really have any awesome superpower, maybe besides Mantis, and that's just a superpower. There's nothing really awesome about it. So it's gonna be interesting to see how they play that with again having another overpowered, superpowered, like Adam Warlock is someone that can go toe to toe with Thanos with the entire Infinity Gauntlet without a problem.
Sounds like it's gonna be a lot of one-sided satisfaction.
That's really what it sounds like. It sounds like somebody's gonna be getting the hand. So it's gonna be interesting. Loki season 2.
Boo.
You said boo?
Yes.
Again, listen. Don't let the little clock deter you from the awesomeness that was in Loki.
Okay. So we got the narcissist falling in love with himself. Talk about who was the guy from Greek mythology, Narcissus?
Yeah.
That's good. That's Loki.
Yeah. I mean, but if you look at it, she's a variant of himself. Yes, she's the same, but she's different. That also goes to show that like the only person that would ever be able to truly love Loki is Loki.
Okay, so while he's somewhere giving himself carpal tunnel. That's right. I said it.
Listen. Sometimes you got to be happy with yourself, okay? You got to accept yourself. I mean, but I also feel like it's poetic though, again, looking at the fact that it's like he's at a point where he no longer has anyone. He doesn't have anyone anymore. He's out there on his own. And now he has to find a way to fix the entire timeline or stop all this other extra bad shit from happening. So that's going to be very interesting. I haven't been paying attention to any comments. If we had any comments, I don't see any comments. There's no comments. So please, if you're watching, definitely please comment. Join the conversation. Give us your thoughts. But yeah, it's I feel like it's poetic. So all he has is himself. So why not? You gotta love yourself. You know, because that's the thing about Loki. He, like, yes, he was very boastful, but he never truly like had that love and self-esteem.
Yeah,
You
because
know,
he grew up in the shadow of his brother's greatness.
yeah. I mean, yeah. You just gotta let the man love, okay? Let the man love. You know, but I feel like now, like the character himself has him. They changed the character around. Like he's still a little. He's instead of being a legit full on villain now, he is the mischievous god. You know, now he just he does whatever he wants, and he accepts himself for what he is now. I appreciate that. Don't get me wrong. I feel like the whole show is definitely just like I call it a messenger. I call it a messenger because there is certain things in the show that you needed in order to understand what's going to happen next in the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
So I respect it. I appreciated it. I actually liked it. I thought it was pretty funny. You know, every time something happened, I was sitting there like, wow.
Nah, I couldn't wait to see what happened next, but overall, I wasn't impressed.
I'll be honest. The one thing that did honestly thoroughly impress me was the other variants of Loki besides Sylvie. We got comic book classic Loki, kid Loki, President Loki, Black Loki.
Don't forget about the alligator.
Oh, yep. Mm-hmm. They're like, we don't really know if he's a Loki or not. But yeah. And there's all the little Easter eggs, like the frog Thor. That was awesome. I like that. Thanos, the Thanos is playing from the comic books that he had, which that was really, really weird. We see the head of the Living Tribunal. So that I don't know. I enjoyed it. It was very good. I was really okay. The aspect of him falling in love with himself. Okay, but we expected from it's Loki. You expected.
I damn sure didn't expect that. I did not see that coming.
Really?
No,
Really?
I did not.
The only other female in the show, you didn't think that she was to become a love interest?
No.
The original villain of the show.
Considering she's him? No, I did not. What was it Fabulous said? How you gonna tell me how to conduct myself? Why don't you go practice safe sex and go fuck yourself?
Yeah. And so that's what he's doing. I respect it.
All right. Anywho, the only thing that show did.
I wonder if that would create a paradox.
It definitely would. So the only thing that show did for me that I thought was great is it gave a little bit more in depth about the fuckery that they caused with the end game and the time travel thing. And then the other thing that was interesting was it introduced Jonathan Majors as Kang.
Yeah. Which we see him back in Quantum Mania, so I can't wait for that.
And they just announced that they're doing another Avengers movie. Actually, they're doing two, and one of them is the Kang Dynasty.
Yeah, so he has getting not only is he being the villain in Quantum Mania, but he's also getting a whole Avengers show, movie directed just for him. So I find that so dope. Because Jonathan Majors is an amazing actor. He's awesome.
He is.
He's awesome, hands down. But I look forward to it. I look forward to see what shenanigans are gonna come next.
Oh, there's gonna be some shenanigans.
Mm-hmm. Now, you know more about Echo than I do, right?
A little bit, yeah.
I don't know where they're gonna go with this. I don't know. I don't know. We see her in Hawkeye. We see her air quotes take out Kingpin. Air quotes, because we all know Kingpin can most definitely take a bullet. I don't know about this. This one for me, again, I love the representation. I love the representation. First this, she's a lot. She's a lot of representation. One, she's deaf. She knows sign language. And then on top of that, is it one leg or both legs?
One.
Yeah, so she's an amputee with a prosthetic leg. On top of that, she's a woman of color. So there's a lot of representation that's about to be in this show, and I'm all for it. Is she? So what nationality is she?
Oh, she is
Is she Hispanic or Native American?
She's Native American.
Okay.
I know the tribe, but I can't say it.
Well, the way that she was giving Hawkeye a hand, it looked like she's coming from the tribe of Smackahoe.
Yeah, but it's also one of those things, like, you get told all the time that you should be calm, you should be docile, you should be this, that, and the third. Nah, you should be an absolute monster. You should be a warrior. You should be able to go from 0 to 100 real quick, because that person is the person who has tamed the beast inside of them and lets it out periodically when needed to be. It is better. I heard a quote, and it said that it is better. What'd you say?
I know exactly what you're about to say. Go for it.
It is better to be a warrior in a garden than be a gardener in a war zone.
And then there's the other hat. There's the other one where it says, respect the man who is a beast, but chooses not to, because respect the dangerous man, because that just means that he has control of it. He's able to control that beast. You got it. What did it say? Is don't take my kindness for weakness.
Right.
I'm not scared of you. I'm scared of myself. I like that. But yeah. So I'm interested. I feel like this is going to be a real, a good one. So I'm interested to see what they got going on for her. Again, like I said, I'm all for that representation.
Right. I mean, that whole thing with her dad working for Kingpin and being pretty accurate, but in the comics, the Kingpin said that it was Daredevil who was responsible for her father's death. And then when she realized that whom he was Matt Murdock and he was dealing with his own disabilities, she basically spared him and then reconfronted the Kingpin about what happened. And then, so she does the whole thing, her shooting him, she does do it. But, of course, as we know, Big Willie, he don't go down easy.
And he also doesn't take kindly to betrayal.
He doesn't. So,
did you hear about the story? What happened with Kingpin when he was in prison?
I did not.
This man Kingpin with the prison got manhandled, if you know what I mean. While in prison. And so when he got out, he waited until that guy got out. This guy gets out, goes home. This man Kingpin beats and rapes his wife in front of him.
Sweet Christmas.
and then has him raped. Yeah. Yeah. He doesn't take kindly to personal offenses. Yeah, when I read that shit, I was like, oh my God, that is terrifying.
Yep, that sounds like Mr. Fisk.
Somebody got Mr. Fist instead of Fist. Boom. Anyway, so X-Men 97. This is going to be a good one. I like to see the continuation. It's continuing and picking up where the original animation left off. Let's say anime. No, not the anime one. The animation left off, where Xavier goes out into space, and now they have Magneto leading the X-Men after he's turned himself around.
Yeah, I'm real interested to see how that's all going to get tied together.
Same here.
I foresee that becoming a bit of an issue for a lot of them.
Yeah, I mean, but I remember them. They've tried it before. I remember when the Brotherhood tried to be good and try to join the X-Men.
This is true, and it's one of the things, like, Magneto has joined the X-Men in more recent years of the comics. But it's I don't know, man, because like his mindset and his militant ways, and we'll see.
Yeah, but I'm just glad they're bringing back the original theme
Voice
song.
actor?
Yeah, all the original voice acting cast. Everyone. Me personally, I'm just interested because I want to hear the original theme song, which we already have heard about 2 times so far in the MCU within the last year.
Mm-hmm.
We hear it in Multiverse of Madness when the comic book Professor X rolls on in.
Yeah, his big ass belt there.
Mm-hmm. Yo, did you see that video I sent you?
Yes, I did.
Yo, that video had me in tears. Oh man. So, and then we hear it again in Miss Marvel and Kamala Khan. So apparently, whenever somebody says the word mutant, we're probably gonna hear in the background every single damn time. And I'm with the shits. I'm with it. I'm so with it. I can't wait. I can't
right.
wait. Next on the docket, Marshall Ali is gonna absolutely, dominate this role. He's going to be an absolute boss in this role, and I cannot wait.
My only questions are, how dark are they going to let this be, and what is the action point?
Agreed. That's mine as well. I want to know more. I want to know who the villain is. I want to know like what take on Blade is he going to be? Is he going to be the Wesley Snipes-esque, which is like the black clad, or is he going to be a jive sucker with the fro and all that and all that? So I don't know. I mean,
takes a special kind of brother to call someone a jive turkey and steak them. I'm just saying.
You got basted. That's gonna be interesting. I can Marshall Ali talking like an old timey groovy 60s. Now listen here, Dracula. Yo, jive sucker self and suck the last neck, you sucker.
Like, nigga, what?
Excuse me? Whose man's is this? Do you know what year it is? What's good with the fro, man? Are those platforms with stakes in the bottom?
Right.
Oh man, but it's gonna be dope. Marshall Ali is gonna absolutely dominate this role. If they're gonna really go by the comic books, then they got to be bringing Deacon Frost and bringing Dracula, and Morbius.
Hey man, I was a big fan of the whole thing he did with Jared Nomak in the second Blade movie, but he wasn't a real predominant comic book character. They made him for the movie. So I mean, sometimes it just works.
Yeah, and as we all know, Blade 2 was way better. Was way better than 3, and it honestly was better than 1.
3? What 3?
Trinity.
What movie are you talking about right now, Howard?
I know. But for the sake of argument, it exists. For the sake of the conversation, it exists right now. For this moment in time, once this conversation is done, it goes back to wherever it was prior to this.
I plead the fifth.
Nah, but it was way better than the conceptual Blade Trinity, metaphorical Blade Trinity. So I hope this keeps up. I hope this is one of the projects that Wesley Snipes said that he brought to Marvel, because then we know that it's going to be really good. I mean, it's Marvel. They haven't steered us wrong yet, knock on wood. Hey, listen, the Sony stuff doesn't count.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I kind of felt the energy. You're like, yeah, no. The Sony stuff don't count. Sony stuff don't count. What we got next on the docket here? Ironheart. We already touched a little bit on her. It's gonna be interesting. She's gonna be in Wakanda forever. We're gonna get to see the start of her. So I can't wait. I can't wait.
Super excited.
Yeah. Now this, I'm iffy on this. Apparently, Spider-Man freshman year takes place before Civil War. Yet Charlie Cox is Daredevil and Benedict Cumberbatch is Doctor Strange. But I'm like, he didn't meet either of them until way after Civil War. So how is this before Civil War?
That he knew of anybody.
Yeah, so I'm thinking that when it said freshman year, I'm thinking, okay, maybe they're continuing from where Far From Home left off. Freshman college years. I'm thinking freshman in college.
Are we sure this is Peter Parker? This is Peter Parker?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no clue then.
Yep. Because this is supposed to be his origin story. Because clearly we didn't get one in the movie, so they're like, all right, well, here's this little spin-off so we can get the origin story of him. But again, like I said, Charlie Cox is Daredevil, and you got Doctor Strange. Apparently he's already fought his own Goblin. I don't know. I don't know where it takes place, what universe it takes place in. I mean, again, it's in 24, so I guess it's taking part of that multiverse saga. So maybe it could be something else with the multiverse. I mean, we also have Into the Spider-Verse though coming out at the end of this year, the part 1, and then part 2 in 24.
I thought that got delayed.
Yeah. Oh, my bad. Yeah. No, it got delayed till 23. Then part 2 will be in 24. Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be good. I'm iffy about. I gotta see it because it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense the way they're describing it and where it takes place. Then I don't know, but it's animated too, so I don't know. It's animated. It's not live action, so it could be honestly very well could be a different universe. So we shall see. Boom, Daredevil, Born Again. You saw, for anyone who's seen the She-Hulk trailer, at the very end there, you can see that we get to see a little bit of Daredevil. So if you haven't watched it, it's literally the last 2-3 seconds of the She-Hulk trailer. So it's gonna be very interesting to see what they got going on for him. This is the TV show that they're renewing from on Netflix. So this is a continuation of the Charlie Cox Daredevil from Netflix. Has been confirmed. I don't know. I have zero clue where they're gonna go with this. At this point, they've expanded beyond my reach of beyond my scope of understanding what they got going on, what they're gonna do. So I don't know. What do you think? Oh, you still there with me, Triage? Still there, brother? I don't know. I guess his mic went went out. But no, yeah, Daredevil.
My back.
Oh, yep, yeah, there you go. You're back.
Okay, so as far as I can get, my whole thing is like we know that the MCU shows took place within the MCU. Excuse me, the Marvel shows. So it's like the Daredevil, Punisher, Jessica Jones. Now, the issue was that they subtly hinted on little things that happened. Like the whole incident was obviously the whole thing with the Avengers and the battle in New York.
Mm-hmm. We saw photos and stuff in newspaper clippings and everything about it. In Jessica Jones,
right? But they never went anything post or pre-snap. So that was the thing that always confused me. And it was always a little bit of a time gap between what happened in the shows and what happened in the MCU.
So here's my thing. I'm trying to remember. They stopped the Netflix show stopped before the snap though?
No, they stopped after, if I remember correctly.
No, it couldn't be. Because you also remember it also takes place like at different points in time. So if I remember correctly, like I'm trying to remember. So the second season, or second or third, the last season of Jessica Jones takes place like I remember like the timing for them was a little off. Because Luke Cage technically doesn't start until the season 2 of Jessica Jones. Iron Fist was going on at the same time as all three of them, as everything. I don't know. I was always under the impression that everything that. Oh no, they did say that. I remember because Jessica Jones was the last thing that came out, and they did say that everything that's happening at this point is before the snap. All that was leading up to what happened to the snap.
Yeah, because like the snap is never mentioned. They never talk about missing people or nothing. So it's like,
no.
And then it's also like, who had them disappear when the snap happened?
Yup.
Because like I can see like if Daredevil disappeared when he came back, I can see like Brooklyn be the nightmare. Luke Cage too, Harlem.
Yeah, because he was the only thing essentially at the end of Luke Cage holding Harlem together. That's why he became like in charge of the underworld, because like he was the only thing keeping it together after both Cottonmouth and his sister died. So that's what this could be. Born Again. I can definitely see that being a storyline. Comes back 5 years later, is like, what just happened, and now he has to like figure out what's going on, get himself back together, and like maybe like reinvent himself and reinvent the idea of Daredevil, because remember he was trying to steer away from that dark road that he was going down.
Yeah, that, and they said that they're going to make this one more child friendly. And they also announced that this is going to be the first show that's going to be, 18 episodes? So that's a difference too, because this show's going to be longer than the rest of them.
Yeah, so that's going to be interesting as well, which makes sense why it's coming out like so far down the line. So everything that we're going through right now is all phase 4 or phase 5. Now we're going to jump up here Captain America New World Order. Sam Wilson is now Captain America. I love how they have the initials be NWO. So I just love that. I just feel like they should have used a word that started with A at the end. Because I kind of feel like, but it would have been too on the nose. Captain America NWA. I don't know. I just feel like because that's what he is. That's my guy. That's what he is. He not playing no games. I feel like Steve was too nice.
To God's righteous man.
Right? He was just too nice. Sam not nice. Sam tell how it is. He'll tell you where to get off the bus at. He don't be playing. He don't be playing no games. Like my man was on national TV cursing people out. So I want to see where they're going with this. I have no idea where they could be going with this. So we're just gonna have to wait and see until we get more information on this guy here. Thunderbolts, we already know how that's going. We've already seen that be set up and laid out in front of us by all the previous Disney Plus shows like Falcon and Winter Soldier / Captain America and Winter Soldier. Damn, so that means we're not getting another season in that for a long time.
Of what?
For Falcon / Captain America and Winter Soldier.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where they're just going straight to the movie opposed to doing this show again. But with the Thunderbolts is basically the Marvel version of the Suicide Squad.
Yeah. The majority of them are villains. They're all villains.
So I'm real interested to see who they're going to pull from with this because, once again, there's a lot of characters that we saw once and didn't see again. Like we were just talking about the whole thing with Daredevil. What happened to Bullseye?
Mm-hmm.
Last time we saw Bullseye, he was getting his spine coated in adamantium.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. I totally forgot about that. Yeah.
Mr. Blue. From the Incredible Hulk, the leader.
Yep.
Still ain't seen him again.
Then we got Baron. Unfortunately, we got to find somebody to fill in the spot for Thunderbolt Ross. Unfortunately, his actor passed away as well. Shortly after the release of Black Widow. So, so that's gonna be interesting. I'm thinking that the name of the team is like a tribute to him. Like he started the initiative as a counter to Fury's Avengers.
Yeah.
So, because that's what they are. They're like they're a counter to the Avengers. So maybe that character died. He didn't make it, and so they, whoever became in charge of the team after that named the team after him. That's what I'm thinking. Because it sucks because we're not going to be able to get a Red Hulk. At least not Thunderbolt Red Hulk.
He was Thunderbolt Ross.
Yeah.
Right. And Emil Blonsky, he still is the Abomination because we see that in She-Hulk that she's representing him, and he can still transform back and forth.
Mm-hmm. So I want to know where in timeline that the scene from Shang-Chi takes place.
The who what?
The scene from Shang-Chi?
Which scene from Shang-Chi? Oh, talking about the one at the end.
No. When they first get to his sister's little fighting club, and you see Wong and Abomination fighting.
Yes.
Yeah. Wong wins, and then they're backstage and stuff. He's like, "All right, time to go. Let's go." He opens up the portal, and him and Abomination walk through.
I don't know. That's a great question.
But we do see Wong in the trailer as well. Yeah, we do see Wong in the trailer as well. So it could be. So Wong could be working with them to capture these high-powered villains. That's a possibility. But I'm interested. I want to see what they got going on because we got Baron. You think Natasha's sister's gonna be in there?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'd like to see that.
I think it's gonna be one of those things. Like she has a particular set of skills, she's not being able to use them.
Yeah.
And so it'll be all fun and games. So she gets sent on a mission to the point where she goes, "Whoa, hold on, we're here to do what? Yeah, I don't think I can co-sign this," and then just go from there.
Yeah, it would make sense too. She's, she could be feeling lost. She always thought that Clint was one that was the reason why Natasha died. So that was like her driving force for so long. Yeah, that was the driving force for so long. So she's like, but now that that's not there anymore, she's like she's lost, trying to find somewhere to go. So she ends up joining that team in order to kind of like, she continues to do the work in order to honor her sister. But we got F4. Let's lead this one. We did a lot of talking. We did talk a lot about the F4 in the first half of the show. We talked a lot about F4. Point is, this is going to be good.
We did.
You think with John as Mr. Fantastic? I think they should. I just feel like they need to just like reboot that whole situation. No, it's a different universe, Reed. Because I think he looked really good as Reed. And I think he could be a really good Reed Richards. But that's this is something I'm looking forward to. I want to see who they're gonna have play Johnny. Because out of the Fantastic Four, Human Torch is my favorite character out of the Fantastic Four. So I want to see who they're gonna have play Johnny Storm.
You want to know what the funny thing about Johnny Storm is? In my mind, Johnny Storm was always a teenager. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. But like, I think it was just his personality, the way he carried himself. Like he was always like 14, 15 to me. I never realized until like I was an adult that I was like, oh shit, he actually was a grown man.
Yeah, because he was a scientist. He was an astronaut.
Yeah. Like, but as a kid, I never paid no attention. Like I always thought Johnny Storm was a kid. I really did.
It makes sense because, like, usually with those families, that's how it worked. You had the mother, the father, you had the grumpy uncle, and then you have the kid. So I can absolutely see that. But there's a lot of stuff that I definitely want to see happen in this, which as we talked like earlier, I want to see Doom. I need to see Doom in this. If Doom's not in this,
we riot.
Yeah, we riot. I don't want it. If Doom's not in it. And then going into phase 6. Well, we just jumped into phase 6 with Fantastic Four. Phase 6, Fantastic Four, Avengers, the Kang Dynasty, and Avengers Secret War. So this is going to be interesting. We need not say any more about Avengers and Kang Dynasty. We talked a lot about it. The gist is there. Kang is the villain. The Avengers must come together to stop him. Who the Avengers are going to be? That is a good question to ask. For these Avenger movies, that's a good question to ask. Who's going to be this group of Avengers? Because right now, everyone's gotten replaced so far.
Damn near.
I'm trying to think. The only one that hasn't been replaced. No, everyone's been replaced so far. Got Riri for Iron Man. Jane Foster for Thor, which I still haven't watched Love and Thunder yet. I'll get to that. Jane Foster for Thor.
Really?
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. I've been meaning to get around to it because I want to watch it in theaters. I just haven't had the money to go do it yet. Jane Foster Thor. We got Widow's sister. I always forget her name. Helena. Yes, Helena. We got Jen for Bruce, and we got Kate for Hawkeye. Am I missing anyone? Iron Man,
No.
Widow, Thor, Hulk, Hawkeye. Yeah. So the entire squad has been replaced right now by their counterparts. So that's the only squad I can see of Avengers going up. But again, and everyone that's gonna essentially replace is gonna be like Riri's gonna, by the time this comes around, Riri's gonna be established because her movies are gonna already have been dropped. So we shall see where this goes. I would like to see a post-credit scene of in the last, and the first half we were talking to Blaze about that scene where Kang and Doom were face to face. I would love to see that as a post-credit scene for this.
Right.
Because we'll see Doom in Fantastic Four, and then we already know about Kang, so then we'll see Kang and Doom come face to face in this, and then see everything come full circle in Avengers Secret Wars, where we're gonna have everyone across multiple universes. So, and then that thus will end the multiverse saga. Yes. So clearly we know who the villain is going to be. We clearly know who the villain is going to be. It's gonna, yeah. So from here, damn, then now I'm thinking about when are they gonna finish off the story with the Eternals, their Eternal storyline?
Who knows? That's a great question. Because last thing we saw, the ones got abducted by the Celestial to answer for their crimes, because he was pissed.
Yeah, he was not happy. So I don't know. It's interesting, and that's what he said. He said, "All right, well, fine. We'll see if your humans, your precious humans, deserve to be saved." So that's gonna be interesting. And then we already saw Star Fox as well at the post credit scene of that. So they're going to go help Star Fox out. So I don't know. It's gonna be. I don't know. We're gonna have to wait mad long before we get the finish to that. Marvel, come on, Marvel, get it together. But yeah, that is. It's not everything from the San Diego Comic-Con, but it's definitely some of the biggest and most hitting things from San Diego Comic-Con, and I am super pleased as a nerd, as like it's just glorious to see all this stuff and all these plans finally come together. There's a lot of kids right now that aren't even old enough, aren't even going to be able to to understand the magnitude of this, because they were born before all this, so they don't even know how it started. So they're gonna go like, "Oh, this is cool," and not understand the magnitude of what's really going on.
Like, you have a seat on this council, but you are not granted the rank of master.
So I'm interested. This whole thing got me peaked. Like I said before, for Black Panther, I'm super excited. I already got my suit planned. I went out and got myself a pair of suede Casey Adam loafers. Bro, I'm ready. I'm ready, bro. I'm so ready.
Yeah, I'm hyped too. I'm not gonna lie.
And again, Ryan Coogler's knocking it out of the park with the music for this. Starting off with Bob Marley, and then having it transition to All Right with Kendrick Lamar. Ace.
Hey, Kate, that's the GOAT, man. You better ask somebody.
I ain't asking nobody. I ain't gotta ask nobody. I know. But I don't know, man. We had a great few years. I feel like DC. I feel like Disney just grabbed DC and spun them around and just took advantage of them this time around. Again, I feel bad for DC. They just got taken advantage of.
Well, you know what? Let's touch base on some of that stuff real quick because we saw the new trailer for Shazam and Black Adam.
Yes, which they both look very good.
I mean, we're getting to see a little.
Good.
I said we're getting to see a little bit more of The Rock in his costume, and then he showed how he went to Comic-Con in his full-on outfit, and then we're seeing Shazam with the Shazam family.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm really tempted to see how that's gonna all come full circle with him having to deal with other gods.
Yeah, I have a feeling, bro. I can see. I'll be honest with you. I can see something stupid. Stupid. What the hell? I can see something stupid happening in Shazam where the rest of the family end up giving up their powers to give to Billy, so he ends up being the only one. So now if it does end up to there, it's going to be him against Black Adam instead of the actual family. I really feel like because it's like that's just too many actors, and they ain't got the money for that many actors. So it's better to write them out. They definitely ain't got making too good money. So I don't know. They just because you gotta remember they're paying for a whole cast of kids to play the lead role, but then they're paying for the whole cast of adults running the lead role. That's wild. That's a lot of money. So they better hope that this movie does good so they can pay their people the way they want and still make some profit off of that. That's my only worry. Because then these two new gods. You notice how they didn't show Ezra Miller's face, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They're like, yeah, no, we own the rights to Flash, not to you. So we're just gonna show our Flash and not show your face. You don't get a dime from us.
Yeah, I was saying to someone that Flash movie might as well be canceled at this rate.
Oh yeah, it better be. You know, I feel bad for Michael Keaton for coming back to play Batman and then it not working out. Because if that doesn't work out, then Batgirl doesn't work out either.
Yeah, and Batgirl's supposed to be black now, so I was real.
Yeah. I was really excited because they have Brendan Fraser playing Firefly.
Right.
And I've been, ever since Doom Patrol, I'm like, I need to see my guy Brendan Fraser back in the movie. So it messes a lot of things up. A lot of things. So I don't know. DC just they can't find reliable talent. And when they do, they screw them over. They find reliable talent and they screw them over.
Or listen, or there's some other external issues that happen. Look, why haven't I ever heard?
Again, that wasn't a good actor. Amber Heard's not a good actor.
But still, all right.
Yeah, I mean, again, I feel it's the same situation with Ezra Miller. Same thing. You got this talent, but they're not good talent, and two, they are trouble talent. Like you knew all this was going on with Amber Heard before you got her to play Mira. Because all this stuff was going on. All this stuff has been going on for like years, bro. Years. It just now got flipped back on its head and gotten straightened out and got right. They've been doing the song and dances, I think, like 2014.
Something like that.
Yeah, so it's just DC. DC just don't. One, they don't know how to hire talent. They don't know how to. First off, they don't know how to hire talent, and then the good talent that they do hire, they don't know how to take care of that talent. So that's my only problem.
Yeah. Because they were in such a huge rush to get their fucking foundation laid. They kind of tripped over their own feet with a few things, but
They're still they wanted the foundation laid, but now they're sitting in wet cement because they couldn't wait for it to dry.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
You know, and it sucks because personally, to me, I like. This is how it goes for me. If I had to choose DC heroes or Marvel heroes, I'm choosing Marvel heroes. If I had to choose DC villains or Marvel villains, I'm going with DC villains.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the DC villains are just have way more depth to them. So I don't know, man. I guess we shall see. We'll see what they have in store for us, man.
I imagine it's gonna be like a wet blanket on a cold December night.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm not even focused on DC anymore. I'm just gonna let them visit themselves out, figure things out. Because no, I'm not wasting my money to go see. I like what in the recent years they've only had the first Wonder Woman and Aquaman.
Mm-hmm. I didn't hate Shazam.
Oh no, I didn't either. You're right. You're right. Thank you for that. Yeah, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and Shazam. That's 3 movies within the last 10 years that were actually good by them. Live action movies that were good by them.
Suicide Squad.
The first one.
Second one.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, we'll take that too. So that's what, 4? And even then, Suicide, but they I don't even want to count that. Yes, it was good, but they had to have a second try. Like they're legit. It's not even called Suicide Squad 2. It's just called Suicide Squad.
Yes.
It's literally the same name as their first movie. Like there's no number 2, no they literally said, you know what? Just gonna kind of wipe what we did before and then give you something new. I don't know. I just feel like I gotta take a step back from DC because they're not being smart. They're thinking with their wallets instead of their heads. That's how I see it. They're thinking with their wallets.
Oh no, I definitely agree. Because like as I said, if they had laid the foundation properly, introduced each character one by one, got to know the actor playing the character and what their strengths and their faults were, a lot of this shit wouldn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
And the only ones that suffer for it are us.
Absolutely, because they're sitting up there, they're making their money. Like everyone's like, oh no, they're not. They spent $100 million and only made $22 million back. I'm like, sir, do you have $20 million? No. Trust me, that's a lot of money. They're good. They're good. They can lose a little $20 million. So we are the only ones that truly lose. I don't know. But with that said, and with everything that we've talked about tonight already, I think it's time to bid our beautiful viewers adieu. Until the next time.
All right. That works for me.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, later. Later, everybody.
Later.